What's up everybody? Welcome to a new video. Time to go back to school. When we went to school, we were taught by people standing in front of us in a classroom, following an education in their specific range, history, math, economics, religion even. And these people went to school and they did an education to make sure that they know how to teach other people. But these days, when we look at the detailing industry, we don't have any real teachers anymore. Unbiased reviews simply do not exist anymore because of affiliation programs, sponsorships, addiction to likes and views. So objective visualization of what products can do. Can you trust anybody, somebody that's being paid by the manufacturer, for example? How much of their information is actually something you can build on? And because of that, I want to teach you something today, something that I have been taught a couple of years ago by Marvin from Glossboss, who was taught by Dino, and it's called the Sinner's Circle. How to clean a surface. Now with the culture diving into the touchless itself did not exist for a very long time. Somebody in 1959 figured out how a formulation of cleaning actually is, consisted of out of 4 factors. And that for today, I want to show you how that is going to come into a practical situation when you are trying, testing or approving chemicals, especially with chemicals. There is so much more money that we can save, time, effort, all these things if we implement something real simple called the Sinner's Circle. So without further ado, let's dive in and see what the Sinner's Circle is all about.
And we're off. First, we are going to go to our good friend, Google. And Google is going to tell us who Mr. Sinner was. And Google. Sinners. Oh yeah. There we go. Sinner Circle. Oh, we jumped like that immediately to the pictures. Let's go back to the history and do the first one, because this you can limit. What is the Sinner Circle cycle of cleaning, or what is the Sinner's Circle? There we go. How did it came from? Now you see underneath the Sinner Circle, the base of cleaning, Kerge, because this is the oldest formula. 1959, this guy invented this. Can we find some history about Mr. Sinner himself? This is the basic of cleaning. Circle Sinner, Kerge, basic of cleaning, Sinner Circle, Taski. Concept of Sinner Circle. Pretty fleeting course. Now, okay, this is taking too long. So I will explain a little bit. Mr. Herman Sinner worked for a chemical company. In this chemical company, he was an engineer. And when he was creating chemicals to clean the surface, he found there is a formula consisting out of 4 factors inside of a full cleaning cycle. I want to click this one because this is one probably the biggest one. So you have a good vision about what it looks like, because most of the examples we find online are Sinner circles that act to cleaning or floor polishing. 4 factors. Factor number 1, the time. The amount of time the surface is being treated with a chemical. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Dwelling time, you might also call it. Second one, temperature. Temperature of the water. Say you do the dishes. You do your dishes with hot water. The hot water makes the ions move faster and therefore becomes more active and therefore cleans better. Hot water soaking the product in, or the plate inside of the dishwash. Soap and water to leave it there to soak it. Dwell time again. So temperature and time we got. The third one is mechanical action. And the mechanical action consists out of anything used to create friction to the surface. So it could be a detailing brush, it could be a broom, it could be a floor cleaning machine, scrubber, scrub pad, anything. And the fourth one, maybe the most important one, is the chemical itself, the dilution. Now, for example, we have a wheel. The wheel's very dirty. We are going to use a wheel cleaner. And we are going to use, for example, the manufacturer says we are going to use wheel cleaning at 1 to 10. Then we're going to add some mechanical action. What type of mechanical action is it going to be? Is it like the toilet brush? Is it like a detail brush? Is it the mitt? Is it microfiber? What type of friction is being created in combination with the chemical of 1 to 10? And how hot is the surface, or how hot is the water being used inside of the dilution? So far, you guys all, everybody is using this, but what I see a lot is if you use high dilution, that means you have strong cleaning power, then it should be that in combination with the time and the temperature, mechanical action should be limited to 0 or little. So it's the very strong wheel cleaner and you are scrubbing the brush. You are losing time, you are doing more effort, and you are creating more damage to the surface. The better thing to do is dwell time. If you can leave the chemical longer to get it to work with the right dilution, the use of mechanical action or friction or brushing or whatever is being reduced dramatically. If you looked at this in the range of the pH levels that we have, so we have 7 neutral, alkaline above 7, everything above 7, 7.01 is alkaline. It's a measurement scale. There's no refuting about that. 6.99 is acidic. That little part in between, what they say considered neutrals, because the logarithmic scale makes a jump, and the first jump is the smallest jump. So between 6 and 8, the littlest detergency power is rising. But especially when they say there's a pH neutral product and they landed on the surface and it's starting to emulsify, it's not in that time frame. It is emulsifying, yes, when the time is being added. If you're using a pH neutral product, you need a high dilution for it to do anything. So 1 to 200 is, there's almost nothing happening at that dilution in cleaning power. The time to let it on the surface becomes even more important. The longer the pH neutral product can lie on the surface to actually do something is very important. The temperature of the water being used could be important, but rarely being used. High pressure washer with hot water, sometimes some warm water, but rarely we see that. And then the mechanical action, because a rinseless, pH neutral rinseless cleaning power is almost nothing to zero. Emulsification, the dampness, it's not true. If you use a bottle of hot water, you can beat any rinseless in the world with cleaning power because it's hot versus the pH neutral. What becomes extremely important with pH neutral is that cleaning power in emulsification is so low that we are dependent 80% from the cleaning with pH neutral is mechanical action. So a rinseless by itself doesn't clean, it's the tool being used to rub it over the surface, removing therefore the dirt. And this is also the system when people say touchless cleaning. Touchless cleaning does not exist. It exists in the fact where the dirt and the contamination is so low that it does not need any touching. But if you move to a car that's been washed not been washed for a couple of weeks, you have a situation where you're definitely going to need touching. And the amount of touching is going to create the damages to the surface. Are you using a steel brush to rub the surface? You got scratches. You're using a normal brush? You got scratches because you are mechanically moving the dirt around. Unless it's being absorbed immediately, it's being dragged to the surface. Therefore, the friction creates the scratching. And the same goes if you go into the alkaline and the acidic range. If you have an alkaline product and you have a strong dilution, dwell time might become a problem. Hot surface, for example, outside. Delicate surface that the chemical is not able to work for a long time before it starts attacking certain substrates like plastic, like chrome trims, or the plastic chrome trims, because it's not chrome anymore. It used to be chrome, but now it's a piece of plastic that has some cover on it. And for the acidic range, it goes exactly the same. So a strong dilution might affect the dwelling time. So you need maybe 30 seconds with a strong dilution. But if you want to stay safe and you say, okay, if I downgrade the dilution to, so say, if the manufacturer says 1 to 5 and you do 1 to 10, you can still do that, but you need more time because the amount of time versus the amount of temperature versus the chemical versus the touch or the friction or the mechanical action decides a full cycle of cleaning. For brilliance in marketing, I have to extremely say to Bildhamber, you did an amazing job by naming your product touchless. So you need to touch less to get it clean, what is absolutely 100% true. But it's not touchless as in you don't have to touch it all. So that is a fantastic description and everybody's still talking about touchless cleaning. But as long as there's no tissue touched after being used to you to show if there's any dirt left, the cleaning is inherent. If they say, look how clean it is, you have a word that's saying it's look how clean. No, we need facts. We need facts about the surface being clean. Therefore, for all the testers out there, as I am literally being paid every single month to do product testing in development, product testing in benchmark, finding out which is the best to compete against, I can tell you that if you want to see the performance of a chemical, do not use touch. Friction, scrubbing, brushing, mechanical action. If you want to see how well a product performs, you use the product, you use the time, you use the dilution, and you use the temperature, but you do not touch. You could say low running water, high pressure washer. True that high pressure washer is also a form of mechanical action in the form of kinetic energy of water. That is also true. So low running water versus high pressure water will decide how much of a cleaning it is. But if you see somebody do brushing in between and then say the wheel cleaner is very good, you have not learned anything, because the cleaning of the mechanical action was the definitive choice to get the surface clean. Not the chemical, not the water, not the time, not the dilution. It was the brush scrubbing the surface. Oh, that's a big story. If you use this system, and you have to find it out for yourself, the information I'm giving you is general. It's general information. You can find this anywhere online. Center circle, how to use it, how to get it in. I already have some conversations with other detailers that are now implementing this in their cleaning strategy, because it will save you a lot of chemicals, it will save you a lot of effort, it will save you a lot of time. If you find out that the surface is so contaminated that you still have to touch, you might as well downgrade the amount of chemicals you're going to use. So if you are going to test chemicals, follow instructions first. When you find the instructions, the product is successful, then go off-label. This off-label culture of ignorance is absolutely stupid. I mean, I am not even able to go to my chemist anymore to ask certain questions, because he literally will get angry if why are you asking me these questions? And you cannot make me convinced that there are people actually doing this. They are. It's unbelievable. Okay. Yeah. And then last but not least, the 3 factors to make any detailing product successful, because I don't believe there are really bad products out there. I believe there are bad users, people that don't know how to read instructions, or people that tend to want to find a new viral video of doing something incredibly stupid with chemicals. Chemicals, you have to use them exactly the way that you use medication. There's a prescription for a certain medication. If you keep to the prescription, you probably get better. If you deviate from this prescription, and you chow down an entire strip of these tablets, you probably die. And with the chemicals, it's exactly the same. Stick to the rules of the manufacturer first, then see if you can improve by diminishing or downgrading the dilution and still create a good cleaning. And then for the final factor, what you can also implement this is when the situation changed. If you are inside, there is little to no external issues that you need to worry about. As soon as you start moving outside, if you keep the 3 most common rules of detailing: out of direct sunlight, cool surface, don't let dry, you are probably going to be successful with everything on the market. Because it is the most difficult thing still, I think, to wash your car outside with all the factors that come to this. But if you keep it cool, not in direct sunlight, don't let dry, then you have something. But what if you have to go outside? What if there is no other way to go clean this car or wash this car while you are outside? And in that case, you can also use the center circle to say, okay, I got a hot surface temperature. Therefore, I have to downgrade my dilution to 1 to 10 and rely maybe more on the mechanical action and less on the chemical action. But the chemical action, I mean, if you cannot achieve the dwell time and you have to stay under the suggested dwell time of the manufacturer, you might need to add either cooling down the surface with water, or dwell time slower and rely more on the wash media or the towel or the scrub or the brush or whatever. And if you keep that in mind, trust me, ladies and gentlemen, from my point of view, I use this every single time. If I have to test a wheel cleaner, I will test the wheel cleaner 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes before drying. And that's how testing of a product should really be. That is understanding what it can do, what are the limitations, not just that it's slick, gloss, and smell, but it is it doing actually something? So one more time, if you want to test something and you want to test the performance of a chemical, do not touch. See what the chemical and water by itself can do, and then you will find out how good a product really is. For me, this is the information about how to clean, and see you guys in the next video. Bye.